guys, welcome to book reviews from the work truck. I am on my lunch break and wanted to give you my spoiler-filled, completely spoilered Wolves of the Calla review. Just finished it yesterday. Man, like Stephen King did, I definitely want to dedicate this review to Frank Muller. His unfortunate passing. He probably is my favorite audiobook narrator. And so to listen to book 5 not read by Frank Muller, it's not as good. It's not bad, but it's not as good. And I think he will be missed for sure. Tragic that he died in a motorcycle accident. Well, because of a motorcycle accident. He didn't die in the actual accident, but complications of the accident. He passed away later. So definitely want to dedicate the review to him. Wolves of the Calla picks up right after we leave Wizard and Glass. They are leaving the Thinny and Kansas. They are coming into the Calla. We actually start with members of the Calla in the prologue, and then you come to realize that these people have been terrorized by these creatures called the wolves, and every generation they come through and they take one half of a twin, like a twin pairing, like brother sister, brother brother, sister sister, whatever, and they steal them and then they bring them back, but they're ruined. They call them ruined. And this ruined twin grows very, very large, very, very strong, but has like very limited mental capacity, and no sexual desire. So their line is basically dead. And it's just an interesting way. You could definitely tell that something has been taken from them. Something essential has been taken from them. And a lot of them die. Some of them commit suicide. It's pretty awful. So the people of the Calla are ready to rise up and say no longer. And Roland and his quartet are walking through the Calla at that same time. So there's a messenger robot named Andy who has told the people, all right, well, the wolves are coming. You've got 30 days. And also there's these mysterious strangers coming to the town. So kind of that's where the prologue sets you up, and then you're ready to go through and kind of meet. Right away we meet Father Callahan. If you ever read Salem's Lot, he's one of the characters in that book. Really interesting the way that they set him up that way. And then he basically is the intercessor before Roland's quartet and the people of the Calla. He'd been there for years working as a father, not necessarily for the Catholic Church. He feels like he's broken that way. He had his issues, but he didn't. He still wanted to tell people about Jesus. So he kind of serves as a priest, but he's not really a priest, if that makes sense. So they're discussing what's going on as they're traveling, knowing that these people are following them, kind of interact with Father Callahan. We first see Mia. Mia is a new personality for Susanna. Initially you had Odetta is it Odetta and Detta? I can't remember her original first name. The nice Mrs. Holmes. And then, so Susanna had these two warring personalities, and then when they were forced together, Susanna became the personality. Well, now we have this Mia personality that takes over when she's sleeping, and this Mia personality has a fella. She's having a child. Now, Susanna's not having a child. She's not pregnant. She's showing slight signs, but she's still having her period, so a bunch of things going on. Kind of crazy. And so it's really, really neat to see the way that this personality, who was raped by the demon, has a child, and Mia in the old speech is mother. King does some weird stuff with the way that he does like language. He kind of simplifies things in a way. It's like he was like, okay, I'm going to name something, and he kind of puts like a tag on it. And then where other authors would like finish that tag, he's just like, nah, that's good enough. That's what I thought in the first place. I'll just go with it. Like he names a field in the initial part. He's like, yeah, that field is some bitch, and stuff like that. Like where maybe it's a sign of the world moving on, but it's like language, like people just don't care anymore to finish words or finish sentences. Kind of a interesting way to do it, and I think that's one of the intricacies of King's writing. Another thing he does that kind of bugs me is he'll tell you something's going to happen later on, and sometimes that's like takes the punch out of something that's coming. And you want it to have that punch, but he's already taken the wind out of it because he's already told you it's going to happen, 4 chapters ago. But back to the story, we have, you really see a side of Roland in this book where he is realizing his body's breaking down, and he dances some dances. He takes steps out of his original personality. He wants Jake to still be a child, and he encourages Jake to still be a child, and ultimately ruins that through the series. Not necessarily his fault, but just life happens, and Jake's childhood ways of being a child ends by the end of the book. He smokes his first cigarette. He really is the vengeful spirit as they defeat the wolves. The wolves were cool. I thought it was really, really neat that they brought in some references. So they had the reference of Star Wars, Harry Potter, Doctor Doom, a couple other ones too. Like they're like when they went through the Harry Potter one, I thought that was like, okay, I didn't realize Wolves of the Calla was that new. Like that he had, the wolves had these snitches. I kind of laughed at that one a little bit. He actually implements himself in the story at one point where he has Salem's Lot, the book, and Roland gives it to Father Callahan, being like, this is your story written by Stephen King. Like, that's pretty neat to say that even our world is interconnected with the multiverse that is Midworld and the Way of the Tower. 19 was so important in the book. Everything was pointing back to 19. Eddie, still my favorite character. Loving Eddie's story, his commitment to his wife, his brotherhood to Jake, his friendship with Roland, how that's growing into something more permanent instead of, forced upon me friendship, but now a more permanent, loving friendship where they work together instead of, I think Roland has really come around and started trusting Eddie more through the way the series has happened. And then the Black 13, where they go back and forth between New York and the Tower, and he tied it together really, really well. I think that was one of the things that sometimes you kind of don't see in a book. Like, there's interconnected pieces, but I mean, King just like put his fingers in everything he had done, and like I'm imagining like a bowl of slime where he like just stuck his fingers in and pulled out pieces of his stories and just added them to the Dark Tower, which is exactly, it's fun for readers to see those nuggets and feel those nuggets come through and come out. I really liked it a bunch. Had some good baseball talk, for Red Sox fans, and that was kind of cool too. Knowing from our perspective that they finally do win in 2004, that was a lot of fun for me personally. The final fight and the way that Mia takes over Susanna, I saw coming, and I get it with the next book being Song of Susanna. I have heard it's the worst book in the series, and I'm nervous for what is coming. I don't know exactly what we're going to get with Song of Susanna. I've heard you need the story, but it's not a good story. And a lot of what I've heard is King had his accident, and he was afraid he wasn't going to be able to finish it, so he hurried and he finished the Dark Tower, but it was not what he should have done. And so up to this point, up to book 5, I'm loving this series. It's in my top 10. Hopefully book 6 and 7 don't tear it apart for me. So we'll see. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by subscribing, hitting the thumbs up button, doing all the things. I have a Discord link in the description if you'd like to join us for daily conversations. I try to get to everything in there. If you're a fellow booktuber, you put your videos in there. I try to watch everyone that is put in there. Don't always get to live streams, but I do try to get to all the actual videos. And I am very, very excited to continue talking with you guys. I'll have a link as well for the rest of the Dark Tower reviews that I've done. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on my thoughts or your thoughts on the book, something I may have not brought up or didn't bring up. And I would love to hear what you have to say about it. So see you guys in the future, and bye-bye.